Hey guys, welcome back to our video. Today it's going to be a bit different than my usual videos. We're going to be going over the F4S Phantom and if it's worth it and if you think you should buy it and etc. Now coming along with this jet, it has a few things that are quite good about it and then things that are quite awful about it. Getting started here, I'm just going to have some background footage of just random games, and then also I'm going to be showing you the armaments on it, and then missiles included, etc., and where I think this this thing really deserves to be. I mean, to me, I think the BR is a bit too high, but we'll get into that later. So in this clip, this is a great example of why you should not use this thing to dogfight at all. Um, as you can see, my speed just dropped extrementally. I mean, this thing's just a horrible dogfighter. You do not want to be using this thing in high tier dogfighting. You want to be boom and zooming with this thing with the missiles, because this thing carries up to 8 missiles. So your missiles are going to be the biggest thing that you're going to want to be using. And then I hit a little turnaround on this guy, and yeah. So we're pretty much out of speed here. And so if you keep watching, I mean, I'm just going to die here. Obviously, I have no speed. And yep, there we go, F14 got me. So in these next few clips, I'm going to be showing you guys the armaments, and yeah. So now we're going to be going over the armaments of this jet, and the missiles, cannons, etc. And overall, just how it looks, how it feels to use, all that good stuff. So looking at the jet, it is a Vietnam fighter coming from the Vietnam War. And so when we're looking at these armaments, we have a lot of bombs, a lot of good bombs. Now it's good for ground and pounding if you want to use it for that. I personally don't like using it for that. I usually run all the missiles and with the cannon. Now it does have a drop tank, but again it takes away your cannon, so it's just not worth using. If we look at these missiles, about 10G for the rear aspect, then the 7F for the Sparrows are going to be your best use on this thing. And yeah, so we're going to go into a test flight, and yeah, I'm going to show you guys the radar, and yeah, just how the radar feels, etc. And again, you can use the bombs on this thing. It's very good. Another thing about this aircraft, it is a naval aircraft, so when you're on those naval maps or whatever, you can land on the carrier if you are skilled enough. And yeah, cool thing about this jet, it has a helmet lock. So yeah, HMD. So we can just look around wherever we want and lock up with it. Now, depending on your play style, you're either going to be using this a lot or not too much. Me personally, I don't like using it too much because the lock, sometimes it'll mess up on chaff and etc. So I don't use it too much. But now the other one, the SRC, I use that one quite a bit. I enjoy it. I think it locks better personally. Now your radar, you have a few different modes you can switch to. You have the SRC, HDN, PZ, or my bad, PCV or PDV. Sorry. And that one's going to be your best bet. You are going to be wanting to stay in this mode a lot. For the radar, I think this is probably the best radar you're going to be using on this thing. So stay on that, and keep in mind this thing is a Vietnam fighter, so it's from the 60s to 70s. So keep in mind this thing is not your F-16 or your F-14. Now, along with those things, keep in mind this thing is highly reliable on its missiles. You're going to have to be using your missiles a lot more than on other planes. You're not going to be getting into close dogfights. You're not going to be wanting to do that so much. You can do head-ons, but I wouldn't try going for dogfights in this thing. This thing is a boom and zoomer. Now, if you use it like that, you're going to have great results. You're going to be getting a ton of RP, ton of KP. You're going to be getting a ton of stuff from these games. I mean, it's ridiculous how much you can grind with this thing. Now, we're going to be using the AIM-9H for you guys real quick. Now, this thing can't pull that much. I think it's about 10, 15 Gs maybe. So right there, it's not going to pull. So we're going to launch another one right here. These things are rear aspects, so you're going to want to be pretty close with these guys, about maybe a mile away, maybe 2 if you're lucky. And then I would launch the AIM 9H. Your AIM 7s are very good. They can launch at about 8 miles. So around 8 miles, you're going to want to launch your AIM 7s, and then most likely you're going to be able to get that kill if they do not pull out or know how to get out of the radar lock. The cannon on this thing is not the greatest. It's a 20 millimeter, and it's alright. It's not, I don't necessarily like using it as much, but it's okay. For ground targets, can't really damage medium tanks, as you can see. It can damage light and pillboxes as well. But that's about it. As far as aircraft, it works pretty good on aircraft. Not too bad on aircraft. It destroys it pretty quickly within a couple shots. And yeah, so now I'm going to be showing you guys some of my leaderboard RP and KP I got with this thing. Now this is just, it's crazy. I've got this thing like maybe a couple months ago, and I got over 10.1 million silver lines. I mean, this thing's just phenomenal at grinding. And I don't think it gets the praise it deserves because of all the low levels that buy this thing. And if you're a low level looking for a jet to buy, I do not think this is gonna be your cup of tea, because you really kind of got to know how to use this thing. You can't just kind of fly in head on and fire this thing. You really have to know what you're doing. Now I see a lot of F4S players just flying in a straight line, not doing anything, and that's not how you're gonna want to be using this thing. You're gonna be wanting to fly close to the ground, like I'm doing here, find a target, lock it up, and then you're gonna want to send a missile. So, and then you fly low to the ground, and then you just keep on going on, and you fly straight. Now you're always going to be wanting to pay attention to everything around you. Obviously, that's high tier. I mean, you should already be doing that. And this gameplay is just to show you guys how I use this thing. And yeah, this thing has pretty good turn time once you cut the engines and use those combat flaps. Those combat flaps are very good for turning. You're going to be wanting to use those a lot. We're going to launch our AIM 9 at this guy. I don't think that's going to hit. Oh, it hits. All right, on guys like that, stragglers, those things, the AIM 9Hs, get them like crazy. We're going to lock this AIM 7 up real quick. Maybe. Okay, never mind. But yeah, man, really, I think this thing is worth the money you're paying. Now, if you're not going to be playing this game that much, absolutely not. I do not think you should be buying any premium jet if you don't play this game that much. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, and yeah, that's my whole opinion on the F4S and how I feel about it. The flares, you have 30 flares each. Use MITS flares. And yeah, I mean, overall, this jet's pretty good. Again, nothing like the F-14 or, you know, the F-16s. So you're going to have pretty hard time. You're going to have a decently hard time in up tiers, but not too hard. I mean, you can still use this thing pretty good, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I got for y'all. That's my description on the F4S and how I feel about it. I've used this thing quite a lot, and I feel like I know kind of a lot about this thing and how to play with it. So just wanted to give y'all guys that. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, just let me know in the comments. I'll probably start doing more YouTube uploads. I usually don't upload much on YouTube, but depending on if this video does pretty good, I will start doing that. And yeah, you guys have a great day, and yeah, I'm gonna head out.